Let's be real. Most people think you need millions of dollars, a secret handshake, and a rich uncle to get into multifamily real estate. They picture these massive apartment buildings, ridiculously complex deals, and investors who've been playing the game for decades. And because of that, most people who dream of building wealth through property just give up. They assume it's a club they can't get into. Well, they're wrong. What if I told you there's an overlooked strategy that lets you buy your first income-generating property for less money and way less risk than a typical single-family home? A strategy where someone else pays your mortgage while you build equity and live for next to nothing? This isn't some fantasy. It's a method hiding in plain sight, and it is the single best way for a beginner to start building a real estate portfolio. Today, I'm breaking it down completely. Honestly, the idea of buying a multifamily property sounds intimidating. We hear about investors pooling millions to snag a 100-unit building, and it feels like a different universe. So, what does the average person do? They stick with what they know, single-family homes. They scrape together every penny for a down payment, buy a house in a decent neighborhood, and try to rent it out. But here's the brutal truth about that strategy today. The margins on single-family rentals are razor thin. After you pay the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and the inevitable repairs, a lot of investors are lucky to break even. And all of your risk is under one roof. Think of it like being a tightrope walker with no safety net. You have one tenant. If they leave, you go from 100% occupancy to 0 overnight, and you're the one left dangling. You have one water heater, one furnace. When they break, that financial bomb is all yours to handle. You end up with a high-risk, low-reward asset that feels more like a second job than a path to financial freedom. People pour their life savings into this broken model because they think the multifamily dream is out of reach. They settle for the single-family trap, completely ignoring the powerful middle ground right in front of them. So what is this strategy? It's called house hacking small multifamily properties. We're talking about buying a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, living in one unit, and renting out the others. Now, why does nobody talk about this? Because it's not as flashy as a 200-unit high-rise, and it's not as simple as buying the house next door. It sits in a strategic blind spot that savvy beginners can and should exploit. Here's the core idea. You buy a duplex. You move into one side. You find a great tenant for the other side. That tenant's rent payment goes straight toward your mortgage. It's like having your biggest monthly expense, your housing payment, suddenly picked up by someone else. In many markets, that single rent check can cover 50%, 70%, or even 100% of your entire mortgage. Let that sink in. This strategy turns your biggest financial anchor into a sale. Your housing cost is either slashed or totally gone. All while you're building equity in an asset that's going up in value. This isn't just buying a property. It's like buying a small business that you also happen to live in. You are literally getting paid to live in your own home. By the way, if a light bulb is starting to go on and you're getting value from this, do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel reach more people who need to hear this message. So, how do you actually pull this off? This isn't just theory, it's a repeatable blueprint. First things first, you have to stop thinking like a home buyer and start thinking like an investor. You are not looking for your dream home. You are looking for a solid asset in a location with strong rental demand. It's the difference between buying a fancy sports car and buying a reliable tow truck. One looks cool, but the other is designed to make you money. Forget the granite countertops. The real prize is the financial freedom this property will buy you. This is the cheat code. Because you're going to live in one of the units, banks don't see you as a typical investor. They see you as an owner-occupant, and this gives you access to incredible loan programs. It's like the bank is giving you a VIP pass that lets you skip the long line and pay a fraction of the cover charge. An investor usually needs to put down 20 to 25% for a property they don't live in, but with an FHA loan, you can buy a 2, 3, or even 4-unit property with as little as 3.5% down. Let me say that again. 3.5% down for an income-producing asset. And it gets better. Fannie Mae recently rolled out conventional loans that let you put down as little as 5% on owner-occupied multifamily homes. A massive change from the 15-25% they used to require. This is the single biggest advantage a new investor has, and most people don't even know it exists. You're hunting for a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. Anything with 2-4 units is considered residential, which is why you get these amazing loans. Start your search on the MLS, Zillow, or better yet, connect with a real estate agent who actually understands investing in multifamily properties. Focus on location, location, location. Think of it this way. Buying a property is like planting a tree. You can have the best seed in the world, but if you plant it in bad soil, it will never grow. You want areas with solid jobs, good schools, and low vacancy rates. Drive the neighborhoods. Are they clean? Do they feel safe? Would you want to live there? If the answer is no, a good tenant probably won't either. Your agent can help you pull rental comps to see what similar units are renting for. Don't even think about skipping this step. This is where you make your money, so don't get intimidated by the math. It's simple. Let's use a hypothetical duplex that costs $400,000 down payment. With a 5% down conventional loan, that's only $20,000. Mortgage. Let's say your total monthly payment, that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, is around $2,800. Rental income. You've done your research and know the other unit can rent for $1,900 a month. Your real cost. Your $2,800 mortgage is instantly cut by that $1,800 rent check. You are now living in your own place for just $1,000 a month. That is house hacking. You're probably paying less than you would to rent a tiny one-bedroom apartment in the same area. You live in your unit for at least 1 year. That satisfies the owner occupancy rule for your loan. And during this year, you're getting a real-world MBA in being a landlord, but on a small, manageable scale. You learn how to screen tenants, handle maintenance, and manage a property. After that year is up, the real magic begins. You can move out, rent the unit you were living in for another $1,800, and go do it all over again with another low down payment loan. Your first property is now a cash flowing machine, and you're on your way to buying your second. This is how you build a portfolio from the ground up. First, you have a built-in safety net. A single-family rental is like a unicycle. If one part fails, the tire goes flat or the rider falls off, the whole thing comes crashing down. But a fourplex is like a car. If you get one flat tire, one vacant unit, you still have 3 other wheels on the ground, keeping you stable and moving forward. That diversification makes your investment so much safer. Second, you get better bang for your buck. Think about it. A duplex has 2 units but only 1 roof to replace, 1 foundation, and 1 main water line. It's like buying in bulk. The cost per unit for big repairs and even insurance is almost always lower than for 2 separate houses. Those efficiencies go straight to your bottom line. Third, you can force the value up. The value of a single-family home is like a beauty contest, judged by what similar homes in the neighborhood have sold for. But the value of a multifamily property is like a prized vending machine. Its worth is tied directly to how much money it generates. By increasing the rents, by putting better snacks in the machine, you directly increase what the property is worth in a much more powerful way. Look, this strategy is powerful, but it's not passive, and it's not risk-free. Let's be real about the downside. The biggest fear is bad tenants. And yes, a bad tenant can be an absolute nightmare. The solution is an ironclad screening process. It's like being the bouncer at an exclusive club. You can't let just anyone in. You have to run background checks, credit checks, verify their income, and actually call their old landlords. Don't get emotional about it. Stick to your criteria. A vacant unit is always better than a bad tenant. The second fear is surprise repairs. The roof will leak. The water heater will fail. It's not a matter of if, but when. The solution here is a cash reserve. You have to treat this like a business and set aside money every single month into a separate savings account just for maintenance. This isn't your money. It belongs to the property. It's the property's own emergency fund. Finally, there's the fear of being the landlord. What if they call you at midnight about a clogged toilet? It can happen. But by living on site, you're getting paid to learn. This is your training ground. The experience you get from house hacking your first duplex is an education you can't buy. and it will give you the confidence to do this again and again. So, the idea that you need to be a millionaire to invest in multifamily real estate, it's a myth. And it's a myth that's holding way too many people back from building real wealth. The strategy nobody talks about, house hacking a small multifamily property, is the most practical, accessible, and powerful way for a beginner to get in the game. You can buy an income-generating asset for a tiny down payment, have your tenants pay your mortgage, and build equity while living for a fraction of what you'd normally pay. You don't need a secret password, you just need a blueprint. And now you have it. So what's the biggest thing holding you back from getting your first rental property? Is it the fear, the money, or just not knowing where to start? Drop a comment below. I'll be hanging out in there answering as many questions as I can. See you in the next video.